Hello and welcome back to MoonClan. My name is Frosty, and today, as usual, we are picking up right where we left off last time. Not too much really happened. Frost Whisper did get an apprentice in Willowpaw, and that's really been about it. We've mostly just been helping her grow up. There's not any major changes with MoonClan, so without too much further ado, we are going to go ahead and jump right into it today with a time skip as usual. So we are now at Moon 26 for our age, and our clan is now 27 moons old. We spend a quiet night on guard duty watching over our clan. Luckily, nothing seems amiss. The stillness gives you time to reflect on your journey and the cat you've become. I definitely think that makes a lot of sense for Frost Whisper. He's aloof right now, so he definitely has a lot of room to reflect in that sense. And his dreamwalking capabilities allow him to get a little bit more insight into what his clan is constantly up to and what they're feeling. I can definitely see that just being a constant connection and hindrance both because of the pressure that would put on somebody. We escort a sick clanmate to the medicine cat's den. Their quiet mew of thanks tugs at your heart. So similar to last time, I wonder if this is something that our aforementioned dreamwalking capabilities allows us to get a little bit more insight into. That we can sense a clanmate's distress or fevered dreams coming through their sleep, and we're able to be one of the first ones to make sure they get the help they need. Last time that was Weaselreen. We'll see if there's anybody that fits for this go. Looks like we've got a few interactions for this moon. Frost Whisper saw Comfreyfoot the other day and did get a chance to meow hello. Moonfern spends some time with Frost Whisper, and they both end up understanding each other a little bit better. Littleheart swats favorite prey with Frost Whisper. So it looks like we did have a lot of positive interactions this go. Another suggestion I did get in the comments that I think I will go ahead and enforce as well is that we interact with cats that have like a dreaming or sleeping status, because Frost Whisper could possibly be talking or interacting with them in their dreams, and I really do like that as a thought, so we'll also incorporate that moving forward. It looks like no one's actually sick, at least for this moon, so that's good. But as the herb stores are inspected by the medicine cats, we notice that some of the rosemary has gone bad. We'll have to replace it with new ones. That's certainly not ideal, but it's a little bit better than losing everything. So definitely not the best and not the worst, but since there's no clear indication as to who our clanmate was, we either got them help in time before something turned worse, or the medicine cats are just able to heal up their ailment really quickly. Okay, so Hollowpelt is caught outside the clan's territory. That will be a strike against Hollowpelt. Frozen Kit is scolded after sneaking out of camp, and Cold Kit picks some flowers around camp to bring back to the medicine den. So maybe Cold Kit will feel a connection to the medicine cat den. And while Frozen Kit was not meant to be out of camp, as a kit, they will not face any strikes or any major consequences like that. But Hollowpelt, on the other hand, he is 154 moons old now. Wow. Arrogant, insider, and lore keeper. So he probably just honestly did not think he would even get caught or that'd be a problem. Okay, so Hollowpelt is on strike 1 as of this moon when he was caught outside of the territory. So no other strikes, so he's not going to face any other ramifications for sneaking out like that. Alrighty, let's see how we're doing. Still aloof, Dream Shaper. Planning to visit the medicine cat today. And before I forget, we are going to check out our relationships just to see where we're starting off for this episode. We are generally in a lot of positive places for our clanmates, except for Tulip Stripe, I guess we just don't like. but certainly nothing romantic yet. And I do know that if we interact with cats, like with this little flirting thing, that will increase things. But per the rules of the challenge, I'm not supposed to directly influence choice of mates or anything, so unfortunately, we can't. However, if there is a cat that catches anybody's eye, we can potentially make some exceptions just to actually allow something to happen, but Frost Whisper could also just never like another cat like that, which is totally fine too. Sparrowstar is currently wondering how Frozen Kid is doing, so maybe just inquiring about the status of the kits of our clan. And then Stoneford is currently feeling unappreciated. He really has stepped up as deputy of the clan in a lot of ways, so I can definitely see why he could be feeling unappreciated for all that he does. He's kept the clan safe for such a young deputy, and despite his own shortcomings or misgivings that he may feel in the position, so he's honestly done a very good job. Ravensong is playing a prank on Sky Scratch, and Lilac Chaser almost got lost near some two-legged nests, probably trying to collect some herbs while she was doing that. Alright, and as per usual here, we will just randomize this. In all honesty, this is probably the only way that we're going to get our romantic attraction up for another cat, is if we randomly roll ourselves and then there's a cat that's actually eligible for us to allow that romantic attraction. But in the meantime, we're just going to keep it totally up to chance. Greenfin is currently sitting at their usual fishing spot. Weaselreed is thinking about a strange two-legged object themselves saw recently. I think that's a grammatical error there. And before I forget, since we are planning to visit the medicine cat, I am going to go ahead and talk to both of them. We're probably visiting Ravensong since they're our sibling, but we'll talk to both of them just to say hi. What was that special thing that Swanspot used to do with mice when we were kids? I'm having such a hard time remembering. Oh, StarClan, I just remembered. They used to cut them up before giving it to us. Haha, it was a little gross, but sweet too. Is it weird that I kind of miss it? I don't think so, just because it's a sense of nostalgia and being cared for that I think anybody can really appreciate. Sparrowstar told me earlier that no other cat in the clan could do what I do. What do you think they meant by that? It was a compliment. Oh, you really think so? I guess I should probably go apologize to them for how I reacted then. If I gave a cat a compliment and they ran away crying, I'd probably be a little confused. I think we've had this exact same conversation with Lilac Chaser before, so I think she's just really insecure about her place as a medicine cat. Little Heart is currently daydreaming about how much there is to see out in the world. We'll go ahead and talk to him. Oh? Huh? Oh, nothing's wrong. Just had a bad day, is all. Sigh, Frost Whisper, have you ever felt like you're not enough for anyone? Usually when it comes to making a decision, I never hesitate. Whatever the obstacle, I'll run headfirst into it, no questions asked. But today on patrol, I didn't listen to the leader and accidentally ran straight into an enemy trap. Luckily, Swanswat was there to keep everyone safe, but because of me, my clanmates could have been hurt or worse. I just feel like such a failure, a liability. I can't help the way I am, but what if everyone's better off without me? We offer Little Heart words of reassurance, but they seem troubled beyond comforting. Still, you sit with them through the night, hoping to stabilize them through whatever storm they might be weathering right now. I do think, whether consciously or unconsciously, a lot of cats would come to Frost Whisper for some reassurance or stability throughout the night, or whenever cats of MoonClan would otherwise be sleeping, because I think they would subconsciously associate Frost Whisper with a good presence when they sleep, since Frost Whisper probably walks through so many dreams. And if we do have a Dream Shaper over a Dream Walker capability, maybe we can even shape dreams to be a little bit more cathartic or comforting for the cats that are otherwise afflicted by nightmares or, nighttime insecurities like that. And as for Little Heart's predicament here, he's still very, very young and with a very adventurous personality, it totally makes sense that he would be rash. And that sometimes that rashness could get him in trouble. So I think this is definitely a very interesting interaction to have with Frost Whisper and Little Heart here. Comfreyfoot is currently sparring, and this is another cat we are to talk with, so let's go ahead and see what she's up to. Comfreyfoot and Floodmask are quietly gossiping together, whispering and laughing in the clearing. You're curious about what they're saying, but decide not to interrupt their precious sibling time. It's really nice getting to see interactions like that in the game, because I do feel like once cats get past certain arcs that they're meant to get through in the main series, we kind of forget that their friends are related, and all of those relations go out the window. So getting little interactions like that and reminders of what cats are to one another is just really refreshing. Willowpaw is currently acting angsty. That's great for us. I'm sure we're gonna have a great patrol. A little bit surprisingly, none of the elders are sleeping right now, so I don't think we're gonna get any extra interactions this moon. All the leaders of MoonClan are also complaining about patrol rather than actually sleeping. But we will talk to Moonfern, who's currently learning the importance of patience when kits ask endless questions. Why? Hey, do you think Swanspot is mad at me? We ask Moonfern why they think the warrior could possibly have a problem with them. Well, when they greeted me this morning, they said hello instead of hi like they usually do. These are basically the same answer, but of course they don't hate you. You really don't think so? Guess I'm probably freaking out over nothing again, huh? I just can't help it. My whole life I tried so hard to please others, to be the type of cat that folks want to be around. The idea of someone not liking me is like worse than anything in the world. Well, maybe not worse than spiders. But still, you know what I mean. I get it. And I do. Oh, I missed that. I think it's like, do you really? Thanks again for listening to me, Frost Whisper. It's not often that someone lends a listening ear, let alone actually understands what I'm saying. You're a really special cat. That's nice. I think it's perfectly natural to want to be liked by other people. We are social creatures after all. So it totally makes sense that you want everybody to like you and to, be living up to pressures that could be associated with that. But at the end of the day, too, you could be the best person in the world and somebody could still hate you because you're too perfect. You're never going to be liked by everybody. And it's sometimes a very hard lesson to learn. But it's sadly the truth. So you can only do what makes you happy, and the people who will actually like you for you will find you. But yeah, it was a rough day indeed when I realized that just trying not to tread on any toes sometimes could be seen as an act of aggression somehow. And that there will definitely always be people who don't like you no matter how good or impressive you try to be. In Moonfern, in particular, I can definitely see this applying to her. I can see her trying really hard to be the best warrior, and then, going over to motherhood, doing her best to raise the kits, which I'm sure is messy, and there's constant mistakes and nights where it's just aggravating or not worth it, but then you kind of have to come to terms with what you've done and be okay that some days are going to be better than others. And again, at the end of it, that there will be people that like you for what you did manage to do today and those who will not. Moonfern takes Snowkit out to do a scavenger hunt, but Snowkit refuses to explore an unfamiliar part of the camp for the scavenger hunt that Moonfern set up. We had Courage +1, but we lost that with this, so now Snowkit is pure neutral. Clefroy is currently sharing a rumor with Weaselreed. Okay, so now we got Frozen Kit and Cold Kit, both as intelligence -2, and then Snowkit, who's neutral. So rather than mess up Snow Kid, I think let's try and minimize some of whatever's going on with these other two. Fluffer tells a story about a cat facing their fears and the dangers of war, but halfway through, Frozen Kit begins crying, terrified. Fluffer has to take a break from story time to comfort them. Frozen Kid is not having a good childhood, I'm sorry. Alright, time for LifeGen Patrol, so. The medicine cat runs out of marigold and asks for our help to find some. It's a chance to help the clan and learn more about herbs. I mean, I think it makes sense for us to try and help out probably Raven with this, because Ravensong is, after all, a medicine cat, and we do get along very well with him. But despite our best efforts, you're unable to find any marigold. You've forgotten what it looks like. All of these plants look the same. Maybe that'll make us appreciate the duties of medicine cats a little bit more then. We're doing pretty good when it comes to Prey 2, and we're in the middle of Greenleaf now, so now is definitely the time to stock up what we can, but starvation, hopefully, is going to be a far cry away. Our patrol wants to hold a training session for Willowpaw, and we want to focus on tree climbing. We've definitely done this quite a bit for Willowpaw. Willowpaw has a trait in grace, and I think this could definitely be where that grace is going to be, contributing towards. So, give this a go. And Willowpaw listens carefully as we explain the proper techniques for tree climbing. So, I think we're actually doing okay with this apprentice. While walking along the border, we notice a Bliss Clan patrol is renewing their scent marks up ahead. We are being led by Sparrowstar here, but it is Greenleaf. In times of plenty, we won't be as antagonistic as otherwise, so we'll just go ahead and proceed here. Once the patrols cross paths, Little Heart is quick to break the awkward atmosphere with a friendly greeting. The patrols pause to converse for a little while, Little Heart bringing up a story that, while slightly embarrassing for them, is entertaining and lighthearted. The patrols part in good spirits. I definitely think Little Heart has something special in him. Oh no. Trailing behind the patrol, there's a mighty crash above Liarpaw. They look around wildly just as the world is blotted out by a tangle of heavy falling branches. Oh, well, we have to proceed here. Creeping in as close as possible, Streampaw purrs to Liarpaw, keeping them calm as the patrol carefully works to remove the branches pinning them down. Liarpaw blinks up at them, holding on to their presence in a scary situation. But luckily, nobody is hurt. It is extremely hot out today, and the hunting patrol is having a hard time staying on task. Tulip tried debates turning back home. Okay, let me see if anybody here is going to be forced to proceed, because this is one of the patrols where cats could get sick or hurt because of heat. Okay, there's nothing really that's going to force us to proceed or not proceed here. So with that in mind, since we do have a lot of sleeping traits, which I do perceive as being a little bit lazier, we won't proceed here. We're just going to randomize our last patrol. And we just tell a good story. Alrighty. And with that, we'll go ahead and jump into our next moon. Okay, so moving into moon 28 for the clan. I'm not liking the looks of this first bit here. You mourn a fallen clanmate. Their memory lives on in your heart, a beacon of strength and courage. And I'm also seeing that other tab lit up, and I am really scared now. Your hunt is interrupted by the sight of a beautiful sunset. The peaceful moment reminds you of the beauty in your home. I can also see that just being a little bit of reflection as well, because, well, sunsets can be the end of a chapter as well. Danger lurks near the camp. With a low growl, you alert your clanmates ready to protect your home. You lead a border patrol, your scent marking the boundaries of your territory. I can definitely see that being a good responsibility for Frost Whisper, a sense that he's finally senior enough to be able to. be a patrol leader. Alright, let's see what this is. No! Shrimpaw and Bayfur are killed by a gang of rogues. Their losses are mourned as we share moments of their lives. We didn't really like Bayfur, but it's really sad that Shrimpaw passed, especially. We also don't have the extinction events on yet, so I wonder if this is a danger that we were alluding to in the all events. Could also really be why Frost Whisperer is leading a border patrol. Maybe there's just more to lead. Frost Whisperer appreciates Coyote Path telling them that they had a feather stuck through their face. Sparrowstar appreciates how Frost Whisperer always seems to be asking how they're doing. Bite Speck asks Frost Whisperer how they're doing. And Cold Kit nods politely at Frost Whisperer as they pass by. Neutral. We've got quite a lot of health issues as well right now. Sky Scratch has gotten fleas. More concerningly, Coyote Path has gotten heat stroke. Sparrowstar has gotten a stomachache. Stonefruit's running nose is healed. Missy Fluff can walk and move without pain, so their sprain must have healed. And the medicine den nests have been refreshed with new moss from the stores. Bayfur travels to Clay Clan to resolve some recent hunting disputes. The meeting goes better than expected, and Bayfur returns to the plan to solve the issue for good. And she's probably never even going to see it to fruition. That's really upsetting. Interesting. Oh no. Okay. So Weasel Reed wanders out on their own on an odd day, and comes back with a fruity-smelling golden raspberry. Weasel Reed flaunts a new golden raspberry with grace. I mean, that sounds like a pretty rare accessory, so good for them. But a lot more concerning is the rest. Whisker Shriek is caught breaking the warrior code, and Floodmask was seen taking food from a two-leg. I definitely don't think that it's a coincidence that both of these young warriors are the ones doing this. It may very well have even been together, depending on exactly what part of the warrior code Whisker Shriek broke. Poor Shrimpaw believes that they're meant for something greater, and that could very well lead to what put them in danger and got them killed by the rogues. Let me go ahead and see exactly how we're going to deal with a blatant breaking the warrior code, if that is a strike or outright exile. Okay, so regarding breaking the code, it just says keep track of when a cat breaks the code and determine the consequences based on your leader's personality and their relationships. For example, a bloodthirsty dark forest aligned leader might look the other way if in a good relationship with a rule breaker, or they could punish them harshly. And also regarding this, with a food, a warrior rejects the soft life of a kitty pet. If they go missing or return with a collar, then they're exiled. That does not count towards cats that are forcibly taken on border patrol. So really the strikes only is with trespassing on other cats' territory, not other infractions of the code. So let's see how Whisker, Shriek, and Floodmask are related to Sparrowstar and see what kind of mood he may be in. As a fierce leader who's not inherently Dark Forest aligned, he probably does take the code pretty seriously. So depending on the relationships, they could just be outright getting exiled here. Okay, so Whisker Shriek is chattering at birds, and Floodmask is eavesdropping on Sky Scratch. So nothing very enlightening there. And Sparrowstar is, meanwhile, mourning Streampaw, who... Oh gosh, was Streampaw their kid? Streampaw was their adopted kid. Oh no. So Sparrowstar's got a lot more on his mind right now, I'm sure, than these young warriors who are blatantly disregarding the rules. And to be totally honest, it's not exactly looking great for Floodmask here, since there's a lot more dislike than like, because there's basically no like at all. Whisker Shriek, on the other hand, has a little bit there, but certainly not a green bar worthy. While I can definitely see Sparrowstar maybe wanting to not take anything out on these young warriors right now because we already lost 2 cats and one of them was our mediator. Which, side note, I cannot appoint. A cat is going to have to choose to be a mediator. It's an extra, not a guarantee. So we're just gone from our mediators now. So with that in mind, like, I can see him being between I don't want to lose any other able bodies and I would much rather have trustworthy cats here because maybe Whisker, Shriek, and Floodmask were more devoted, not breaking the code, not accepting food. Maybe those rogues would not have gotten to camp to attack an apprentice and mediator. And Sparrowstar, I'm sure, would be very, very angry. Much more angry than forgiving. So, as harsh as it is, I'm actually going to exile them both. I don't think there's going to be any coming back from that. Sorry, guys. There are consequences for not upholding your end of the deal. Okay. And on that note, let's see how everybody else is doing this moon. Currently seeing a kitty pet sitting calmly next to a dog. Think we've got bigger events to be alarmed by, Frost Whisper. And we are talking to Sparrowstar. So let's go ahead and talk to Sparrowstar. Sparrowstar shakes you from your sleep in the night. Psst, Frost Whisper. Sorry to wake you. This will sound really embarrassing, but I had a nightmare, huh? Can I stay with you? You and Sparrowstar curl up in your nest. Their pelt is warm, but their body is still trembling a little. Can I tell you about my nightmare? In my nightmare, you were drowning. You were screaming for help and I kept trying to swim out to save you, but you just kept getting further and further away. Imagine that. I faced rogues and dogs and foxes and monsters, but out of everything, the thing that scares me the most is losing you. You both eventually drift off to sleep, and it takes a long time for anyone to rouse you in the morning. I was gonna say, this kind of confirms my theory that Frost Whisper is who cats go to whenever they have a nightmare, but sounds like it was a little bit more personal than that. And just for storytelling's sake, I do think it makes more sense if instead of losing us, it was Sparrowstar losing Streampaw. That they saw Streampaw being rushed out to sea and there's nothing they could do to save them. And then they woke up and Streampaw was still gone. So maybe we could replace the dreams with something a little bit better. Stonefruit does not want to be assigned to Dawn Patrol tomorrow. Ravensong is daydreaming about being a warrior in Leopard Clan. And Lilac Chaser slips out of camp to visit Bayfur's grave. Being the 2 she-cats that were kind of a bit more confined to camp, I can definitely see them being a bit closer. And with Lilac Chaser's deep Star Clan bond, I'm sure she's looking forward to seeing Lilac Chaser and Star Clan to the next vigil. Swanspot is also mourning Bayfur. Coyote Path is currently wondering how Afoot is doing. We're going to talk to them as well. Can't you see I'm busy? Sorry, I thought being sick and confined to bed you would have nothing better to do than grace us with your presence. Weaselreed is sparring with some clanmates. I know it didn't really pop up, but I do want to talk to him just because he's our brother. Look, just because we're siblings doesn't mean that we're like friends or anything. We're not in the nursery anymore. Go find other cats to hang out with. Okay, that literally just counteracted what I just said in my reasoning, so thanks. Willowpaw is currently sharpening their claws. They're getting close to getting their warrior name, but they've got a little ways to go, so they may get it at the standard 12 moon. Bitespec sat all night at Streampaw's vigil as well. It's not really surprising, given the fact that we talked to both Bitespec and Sparrowstar this moon. It's possible we were either at the vigil or checking in with them afterwards. Bitespec is having an outburst with Liarpaw again. What did they do to set them off this time? Bitespec and Liarpaw are 2 names I keep seeing coming up together. Seriously, thorns on my nest again? I swear to StarClan, you must be the most irritating, empty-headed apprentice. Oh, Frost Whisper, it's you. What is it? Do you need anything? I'll be right there. Let me finish this first. The apprentice looks to you, then to bites back them back again, eyes wide. You have to hold back a laugh from their shock at the sun switch up. That's kind of hilarious, though. Okay, who are we going to mess up this moon? Let's try... Before Moonfern even asks Cold Kit to help clean the nursery, they had already volunteered, and the space is tidy in no time. Cold Kit still isn't the smartest, but does have a little bit more empathy. Okay, Frozen Kit is... I need to stop trying to make Frozen Kit not as negative, because Frozen Kit yells that they'll shred Fluffer to pieces one day after losing in a play fight. Courage -1, intelligence -3. I don't think I can make that much worse. They are going to be like the next dictator at this rate. Frozen Kit is a bit cross with Snow Kit, who is reminding themselves that it will be okay. That must be quite the fight. They are almost apprentice age, so I can definitely see some bonds getting a little bit more strained. And Cold Kit is pretending to be the clan leader. We will talk to Cold Kit. Oh, hello, Frost Whisper. Guess that's all there is to that one. Alright, patrol time. A fellow warrior who you have feelings for seems to be spending a lot of time with another cat. You ponder whether you should confront them about your feelings. Well, last we checked, we still don't have any feelings, so just for kicks and giggles, let's go ahead and proceed. You gather up your courage to confess, but your words end up jumbled and unclear. They seem confused, and the conversation ends awkwardly. Oof. Alrighty, let's go out on our training patrol. Looks like we are now going to practice fighting techniques with Willowpaw. And we don't step up to actually teach them, so it turns into a waste of time and everyone's a little irritated by the time they get back to camp. Can't say I would blame anybody there. And now Liarpaw is our only other apprentice. That's really sad. I'm actually just going to randomize the rest of our patrols. It may be the worst idea ever, but as long as we get at least one boarder in there, then I think we're fine. With our current distribution of prey versus what we need, I think we're okay to avoid stockpiling too much. Oh, we got a hunting patrol. They are brought up short by the sound of aggressive flapping and the cries of a hawk. Approaching cautiously, they see a red-tailed hawk down with a broken wing trying in vain to get back in the sky. This could be an opportunity. We do have a witty cat, but that's about as close as we get to any kind of prowess on hunting. But even so, I think 3 against 1 injured, those are good odds. Despite the hawk's broken wing, it's still tremendously angry and the cats can barely get close enough. It's most of the day to get it weary enough for the cats to pounce, but eventually they manage to overwhelm it. They drag it back to camp as Silverpelt rises in the sky, proud and exhausted, and it's a large amount to prey. Okay, this last one's gonna have to be Border Patrol because we didn't roll it on the other one either. Sparrowstar sees 2 kits from Clay Clan playing close to the border. Now, per the Warrior Code, we cannot see kits injured or anything of that nature. And last time we didn't proceed, it directly affected the kits. So, with that in mind, to follow the actual principles of the challenge, we're going to proceed. Pigeon Flick and Sparrowstar go to bring the kits back to Clay Clan, improving our relationships with them. Okay, so best possible outcome there. We're going to go ahead and jump right into our last time skip of this episode. It definitely may be a longer one. We save a kit from a fox, our body shielding them from the predator. You participate in a battle against a rival clan. Claws clash around you. Adrenaline rushes through your body as you hurl yourself into the fray. Look at us being very brave, I guess, here. Embodying the true principles of warriorhood. Alright, we've got quite a few ceremonies this moon. Sparrowstar has been following the progress of Liarpaw for moons and feels that it is finally time for them to get their warrior name. They are granted the name Liar Rush in honor of their poise. MoonClan welcomes Willow Deer as a new warrior, honoring their adaptability. I'm curious to see how Willow Deer came out. And if she maintains any of her grace, deer could actually be a great suffix for her. Even if there are no deer in trees. Frozen Paw has reached age of 6 moons and has been made apprentice to somebody. Sparrowstar calls a meeting. They've been watching Snowkit for a while now and have decided to mentor them personally. Snowpaw's eyes shine with pride. I actually do think that checks out because Sparrowstar has wondered after these kits. Though, to be fair, I thought it was mostly Cold Kit. And Coldpaw has also reached the age of 6 moons and has been made an apprentice. Oh! No! Lilac Chaser was murdered. The culprit is unknown. Oh no. I was not expecting this to go so off the rails. Well, look into that in a second. Looks like we're only interacting with Bite Spec this moon. Bite Spec thinks maybe we're not so bad after all and they admire our dedication. Sky Scratch has finally gotten rid of all their fleas. Coyote Path, thankfully, is no longer suffering from heat stroke. Sparrowstar no longer has a stomachache. Okay, at least that's good, but everything else is falling apart. Greenfin tries to convince Weaselry to run away with them. Greenfin probably is saying that they can do all the hunting. Misty Fluff was caught sharing prey with a rogue who was chased off by a patrol. I don't think this is inherently like a bad thing or specified against the code, but this is definitely going to be a problem. Why is it all Tulip Stripes kits? Is it just their age or... Okay, hang on. Before we get too caught up in any of that, Lilac Chaser is sending an omen of things to come to Misty Fluff. Look at how faded she already is. Oh no. Let's see. No! Lilac Chaser was secretly murdered by Coyote Path, our mentor. I did not think they had it in them. Oh no. Lilac Chaser was like the perfect mellow, calm, deep thinking medicine cat too. Coyote Path is busy sharpening their claws to look stronger. Well, you've certainly proved something there. Okay, but the game has a mechanic to, you know, out people who get caught. There's like rolls that we'll take if we end up ever killing a cat, but the game itself will handle anybody else. They'll either be caught or they won't. Since we don't know who it is, then that is what that is. But I'm gonna make a note, at least for myself, that Coyote Path, because of that, is doomed to the Dark Forest. To say I was not expecting that would be an understatement. Oh my goodness, okay. Well, this has been quite the episode so far. Next order of business is Misty Fluff. Is wondering if kitty pet life is really so bad. Misty Fluff, what is your relationship with Sparrowstar? Because I'll be honest, after just seeing what happened to the other two last moon, there is no excuse. And yes, I know Firepaw technically was eating with a rogue or feeding a rogue with Yellowfang, but excess of food or no, I don't think that's very welcome here. I don't think Misty Fluff is even on Sparrowstar's radar, so since we do have an excess of food, by just a little bit there, I'm going to count this one as a strike. I'm going to count this as effectively 2 strikes. So if Misty Fluff does one other thing, sets one other paw out of place, they're gone. I think that's going to be the only concession for Tulip Stripe, in all honesty, whether or not Sparrowstar really knows. Okay. Phew, boy. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go on to cheerier news. Lyrush is wondering at all that Halapelt has seen and done. She is still 11 moons, but she is calm and a lore master for now. That could change next moon. But she was mentored by Sky Scratch, who influenced them to be more likely to defend their beliefs, think things through, and have strong inner morals. Sky Scratch helped them become better at remembering lore, and they graduated their honor for their poise at 11 moons old. Oh, Willow Deer. Willow Deer grew to be adventurous, so no major changes there. She currently wants to climb the tallest tree in the territory. She radiates elegance and is a treasure keeper for her traits, which is just... that's so nice. No wonder with elegance she got Deer's suffix. They were mentored by a Frost Whisperer who influenced them to be more likely to have a positive outlook, use words over teeth and claws, and bend the rules. They graduated their honor for their adaptability at 11 moons old. I'm really excited to see what happens with Willow Deer, but I just noticed actually this. So, Willow Deer's adopted parents were Coyote Path and Stonefruit. Coyote Path was our mentor, and we got Willow Deer. Maybe even at Coyote Path's recommendation, since parents don't really take their own kids. And now Coyote Path is a murderer. I have so many thoughts about that. But I'm really hoping that whenever this inevitably comes to a head, Willow Deer is not going to follow Coyote Path's paw prints. And of course, Frozen Paw is mentor to Coyote Path, because why shouldn't we make this any more complicated than it already is? But Frozen Paw has a very interesting white and gray split there. Got striped pants. She is currently giving some advice to Lyrush. She is responsible and tidy. And then here's Snowpaw, who's looking forward to the next gathering. He grew to be vengeful and a moss ball hunter, which could be a little bit scary in Sparrowstar's paws, if I'm being honest. Sparrowstar is fierce and hasn't always used his strength to protect the clan. So hopefully Snowpaw goes more towards like a calm side rather than brute force, but I guess we'll just have to see what time says. And finally we have Coldpaw, who is feeling nervous about an upcoming assessment. His mentor was Misty Fluff. So if we exiled Misty Fluff just then, Coldpaw would have immediately gotten a new mentor. He is meek, with an active imagination, but good with directions. I honestly think Coldpaw was being watched by Sparrowstar as a prospective apprentice, but when Snowpaw started to show these eventual traits, that probably drew Sparrowstar's eye a little bit more than this incoming meekness did. So, yeah, we're rapidly on pace to be a more Dark Forest-aligned clan than I would have liked us to be, but that's just the direction the story takes sometimes. Sparrowstar is asking Tulip Stripe to teach them how to swim. Stonefruit is giving some advice to Bitespeck. Ravensong is thinking about a strange shoe-like object they saw recently. Swanspot wishes they were sleeping, so we can't talk to them yet. And it just occurred to me that we went from having 5 integral parts of the clan to talk to every moon to 3 this episode. So that is quite the change. We are currently eavesdropping on Stonefruit, so we'll go ahead and actually patrol with Stonefruit this moon. Depending on if Willow Deer keeps her adventurous trait, I can see her potentially being a great match for Little Heart here. So that is going to be a pairing to watch, and I cannot manipulate them because we do not have a mediator, so we're just gonna have to send them on patrols and hope. Speaking of too, I did read a little bit more into relationships here, so I could have mediated, it sounds like, but I can't do that anymore. But We can also send Frost Whisper out on patrol with a special somebody to maybe develop some things. So if there's another cat you want me to try and set up with Frost Whisper, we can try and do some duo exploration training missions. Okay, Icy Ice is the first cat that's actually been asleep this entire episode, so let's go ahead and talk to them. I keep reliving that moment when I made a fool of myself at last gathering. Do you think the other clans are still laughing at me? You reassure Icy Ice that no one probably remembers. Oh, you think so? I guess that's a little reassuring. Yeah. I know I don't stay up at night laughing about that time that, Joe said in the 3rd grade something silly. Bitespeck is preferring dense burrows to the open space, and we'll talk to him. We notice him sitting alone by the empty fresh kill pile. We pad over to them with the robin you were planning on eating. Oh hey, Frost Whisper, what's up? You drop the robin in front of them and warmly ask if they'd like to share. No, that's yours, you eat it. Please don't try and talk me out of it, I'll be fine. The thought of you starving is worse than any hunger. I don't think anyone's starving anytime soon, Bitespeck. Alright, and now we've got 2 queens and no kits. So, very interesting distributions of the clan indeed right now. We're gonna go ahead and go on our LifeGen patrol though. And once again, we got another romantic thing. A moonlit walk by the river with a cat you're interested in seems a perfect way to spend the evening. We invite them to join us. They agree, and you both enjoy a peaceful walk, chatting and sharing stories. By the end of the evening, you feel a stronger connection between you. Okay, well, I guess I'll just send all these apprentices out with mentors. And Misty Fluff is, of course, going to make me feel guilty for even considering exiling them. Because when they go to work on teamwork with Cold Paw, sometimes the best thing of all is to just help an apprentice get the chance to feel equal to the warrior they're trying to become. Misty Fluff treats Cold Paw exactly like everyone else and watches their confidence grow and eyes light up as the cats work together. Like, for somebody who's grumpy and lazy, that is just such a mature insight to make. Okay, so our requisite border patrol spots a badger making a den on Goose Clan territory. Again, it's Greenleaf, so we're not necessarily going to antagonize. As luck would have it, we smell an Goose Clan patrol approaching. They call out to the patrol and tell them about the badger and where they saw it making a den. The Goose Clan patrol is grateful and return to camp immediately to report the badger to their leader. Relations with Goose Clan have improved. So just to try and reconcile to myself, we have seen Bliss Clan, Clay Clan, and Goose Clan. And I feel like I've seen at least 2 other names, so I don't really know who's bordering us. But I know there's definitely Clay Clan, and I've seen Bliss Clan at least twice. So maybe Goose Clan is our 3rd. Oh, and speaking of, our next patrol meets Bliss Clan, a clan we consider allies at the border. Again, I'm definitely not going to try and make enemies here. We have a nice conversation before parting to continue our patrol. And our last patrol with us and Pigeon Flick, just for some insight, I did randomize last 2, also meets Bliss Clan. But though we stop to chat, the other patrol seems standoffish and cold. After a stilted attempt at conversation, the 2 patrols part and go on their way. It seems as though our alliance may be weakening. Hopefully that's just pure neutral between those 2. And that we didn't specifically ruin anything there. But with all that being said, I think we're going to end up there. Again, I apologize. This is probably going to be a lot longer than usual. Just looking at my timer and how much I know I talked, because boy, did a lot of things happen. And not a lot of good things happened. Probably the apprentices is the closest thing to good we got here. So, I hope you all enjoyed. Feel free to check out links in the description below for things to places like my Discord if you want to come hang out, get some sneak peeks on some other projects I'm working on. or if you would just like to hang out and chat. I also have a link to my Twitch down there. I'm trying to stream every Saturday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're currently doing Pokemon, but I'm going to try and kick up that a little bit more just so we can also do some other things. So, fingers crossed, timing actually works out well enough for that. But thank you as always to Parental Unit for supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated. And until next time, stay safe, stay happy. I'll see you then, and bye.